different stories give his birthplace as Aberdeen, Scotland, or Petaluma, California, in the dwindling circles of old-time strongmen, Ian, Mac, Gordon Batchelor, born on May 24th, 1910, is a bona fide physical culture legend. Known as the Bartender, who was undefeated in arm wrestling from 1931 to 1956, Mac came from a long line of Scottish strongmen. On his maternal side, from the clan MacFarlane, and on his paternal side, on the royal clan Stuart, Mac's power was evident from early childhood. As soon as he was able to waddle about, Mac's father had him running, and by the time he was 8, Mac was rowing boats in a local bay. Before adolescence hit, Mac could easily swim a mile in rough water. In his teenage years, Mac, weighing around 200 pounds, could run the 220 in 22 seconds and the quarter mile in 51 seconds. He could throw a discus, flat-footed and without a spin, 125 feet, a javelin, 185 feet, and a shot put, 46 feet. In high school, he lettered in multiple sports and was never defeated in rowing. During summer break, Mac would row between 5 to 8 miles a day. The stories about his rowing accomplishments are numerous. On the football field, he would play 2 games a day, the JV game in the morning and the varsity one in the afternoon. After grappling on both an amateur and professional level, Mac got into cycling. It was not unusual for him to pedal 20 to 30 miles with a case of beer strapped to his back, after which he would find a quiet place and rehydrate with barley and hops. As far as the iron is concerned, Mac started moving weights in high school when a friend showed him an old Milo catalog with the legendary physical culturist George F. Jowett demonstrating the workouts. However, after 3 months of training, his high school coach gave him the old list of antiquated fears about weight training: restricted muscle motion, arthritis, club foot, and he topped it off by saying that every strongman has pimples. Scared off from lifting, Mac didn't pick up weights again until his 20s, when he followed an interesting Milo course which had the effective philosophy of progressive overload as a guiding principle. So, Mac would perform 5 reps of a given exercise. On every third workout, he would add 1 more rep until he reached 10 reps. At that point, he would add more weight to the bar and drop back down to 5 reps. Over the years, Mac started to pile some real weight on the bar. In one sample from his training, we found that for his leg training, Mac would start with hip lifting, 3 sets of 20 reps with 2,000 pounds, with a 2-minute rest between each set. Then onto quarter squats for 3 sets of 20 reps with 1,200 pounds, before finishing with deep knee bends with 350 pounds for 3 sets of 20 reps. Although Mac would usually work out twice a week, after a particularly arduous workout, he may take up to a week off from training. His second workout in his routine went something like this: dumbbell curls with 60 to 90 pounds and 10-pound jumps. For each set, he would do 8 reps. Then on to stiff-legged deadlifts, 300 pounds for 20 reps for mini sets. As for regular deadlifts, he would do 500 for 8 reps, also for mini sets. After which he would do bench press, 275 for a triple, or 3 sets of 10, 275, 300, 3 sets of 8, and then 350 for 3 sets of 3. He would finish off by throwing around full beer barrels. In his prime, Mac had a massive build. He was 6'1.5", weighed 300 pounds. His neck was 21 inches, chest was 54 inches. He had a thick waist of 43 inches. His hips were 46 inches. Upper arms, unflexed, measured 19.5 inches. Forearms, unflexed, were 15 inches. Thighs were 30 inches, and calves were 19.5 inches. Best known for his gripping strength, Mac utilized a wide range of exercises for building his hand and forearm strength. Along with prizing the benefits of rope climbing, back in 1968, Mac wrote an article where he told folks to, quote, pick up odd, bulky objects with only your fingers and thumb. Squeeze a hard rubber ball in each hand. Hold a sheet of newspaper in one hand with your arm extended in front of you, then rolling it up using only the one hand. This is a tough one, but after a while, you'll be able to roll up 2 or more sheets of newspaper in one hand. and your hands, fingers, and forearms will gain endurance, strength, and size that will please you, end quote. As a matter of fact, we featured that newspaper workout in an earlier Jailhouse Strong video. A wild man at heart, Mac told his readers to get outside, climb trees, and work out at a playground's horizontal bars, both of which will strengthen your grip. Inside of the gym, he had a number of old-school, unorthodox methods for grip training. One option is discussed as such. Quote, a favorite of the old-time wrist wrestlers was gripping a smooth, flat, heavy plate between thumb and forefinger, then transferring it without losing their grip to a position between their thumb and middle finger, and so on down the line until they were holding the plate in the most difficult way possible between thumb and smallest finger. They would then reverse the process, never once putting down the plate or losing a grip on it, end quote. Of course, Mac's preferred technique for working his grip was crushing beer cans. In his words, quote, crushing beer cans, one of my favorite exercises when working in my bar during occasional quiet afternoons was to crush beer cans between my fingers. I trained my grip at every opportunity to fortify my wrist wrestling arm against the constant competition I had for my title of World's Champion Wrist Wrestler. Crushing beer cans was a good way to obtain that needed conditioning. With the innovation of beer cans, which vary from soft metal to those that seem to be made of iron, arm wrestlers everywhere had a new and convenient type of training medium. For developing finger strength, try this. Pinch the middle of the lighter cans together with thumb and forefinger only. With those of heavier metal, grip each end with both hands and bend back and forth until a break starts in the center. Now, while maintaining the same grip, twist with both hands back and forth a few times until the can is torn in half. Be careful not to cut yourself. Those edges are like knives. Practice of this exercise will help give you the twisting power of grip that is vital to being a successful arm grappler, end quote. As much as he liked crushing beer cans, Max was best known for crushing beer caps. According to a New York Daily News article from April of 1952, Mac once crushed 63 beer caps to fill a beer bottle. The bodybuilding legend John Grimmick, who we featured in an earlier Jailhouse Strong video, along with Vic Tanny, would make it a point to visit Mac in whichever tavern he was working. On one particular occasion, Grimmick remembered Mac out drinking every barfly in the place while bending a seemingly endless amount of bottle caps. By the time Grimmick stumbled out of the bar, Mac appeared stone sober. He called out to his friends to have one more drink on him. Grimmick and Tanny had no choice but to join him for one more. Perhaps Grimmick summed up Mac's existence the best. Quote, old Mac had a very interesting life, and I am sure that he enjoyed every minute of it, especially when he was called upon to prove the prowess of his arms. He never feared defeat, but I knew he had the power and was always ready to prove it, and did that quite often while he was on the job, end quote. For more of these old stories, this history of physical culture, click subscribe.